Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Friday the 13th of October, and since it's the Friday the 13th, maybe we could have a bit of a volatile day on the market, or a scary day on the market. Let's see about that. But what we can say is that S&P 500 is back below the gap area here. It couldn't even get to 4,400. So very interesting times. The RSI also was bending over, so to speak, actually quite well below the 60 level. So and there's no divergence here. So the troughs on the RSI value is matching the troughs here on the index, so indicating we could see lower levels on S&P 500. Quite interestingly, the Nasdaq 100 rejected the upper falling trend line and couldn't close above the upper part of the cloud here at 15,245. Also very interesting, and we could turn bearish again, but it remains to be seen what will happen later today. Also, RSI rejected at 60, quite interesting, and something that should be taken into consideration. If it closes above today or next couple of days, going into next week, above here, then we are in the bullish territory. So really interesting days ahead of us. EuroStoxx rejected at the upper falling trend line, closing back below 4,210, which is a bearish signal for now. It needs to close above that level there, or the falling trend line, for to gain some upside traction. DAX couldn't hold up and closed below the 15,482 resistance, so also looks a little bit heavy there. It really needs to get back above for changing that bearish picture. The AEX actually tried to build a little bit on an uptrend here, and we had a kind of a little bit of a double bottom, but it already reached its potential target almost, rejected at the 55 moving average, trying to get to move high, a little bit higher today, testing the 60 RSI. Keep an eye on that. If it closes above, well, then there could be more upside potential, but there's very strong resistance at 750. I don't think it can hold up, but let's see later today. Belgium market rejected at the 35.79 resistance, so it could be caught in this range here between 34.50 and just around the 35.80 level here for quite some time. CAC 40. Also a little bit range bound. It needs to break above 7,204 and above the rising trend line to at least try to get some upside traction, but it can be a bit of a struggle. We have the cloud also adding to the overhead resistance, and we have the 100 moving and 55 moving average coming down there. So still weighing heavy on the. Finally, also throwing in the mix, the SMI 20 from Switzerland, rejected here at the top of the cloud. RSI is still in negative sentiment. We are now back below the cloud here on the index. And what is interesting, if we move lower and closes this little gap here we saw a couple of days ago, well, then we are likely to see the negative or bearish trend resuming towards 10,500. It really needs to close above this upper falling trend line here to build an uptrend. On the FX side, euro dollar was rejected at the 106.35 resistance, which was the 38.2 retracement of the last leg down there, and it was rejected here also at the falling trend line. So quite an interesting move. Despite the divergence down here, we could see downtrend picking up, and if it does, we could see a break of the lows here with a move down to around 103, 102.40 level to follow. But quite interesting. We could, with all the numbers coming out later today from US, we have banks coming out with some earnings and all. So there are something cooking today, so it could be a quite volatile or scary day today on the US market when it opens. That maybe could turn everything upside down. If it takes out 106.35 and close above, well, then there's room up to 107.60 level around this 61.8 retracement. Cable rejected at 123, testing minor support here at 121.75, maybe resuming downtrend, so a little bit similar to the euro dollar, really. So not much to say further there. Dollar yen. As you probably can see if you've been following my daily videos last couple of days or for some time, I had drawn a rising wedge. I deleted it now because it's not really meaningful anymore. It seems like a dollar yen is about to resume its uptrend, and what we can say is that maybe we will have a move higher. If it takes out the peak here, let's draw this horizontal line there. If it takes out 150.16, this is the peak here from that quite volatile day, well, then there it's paving the way or the road to higher levels towards the 152 level, the previous peak here back from last year around this time. So keep an eye on this level. Euro yen still caught in this range here between 155.50 and 159.70. But we are in a bullish trend short term, I would say, but it's really struggling for upside momentum. We could see a move towards the 159, but then it could be rejected again. So it's really still a little bit uncertain on euro yen, and it is a wide range that is trading in. So a little bit neither here, neither there. Also yen, again rejected at 95.85 level and is now trading around these 55 and 100 moving averages. So it's really not convincing what it's doing, and maybe it's because the Aussie dollar in general is really weighing on it. It was sold off heavily yesterday, and as we can see here on the weekly chart, it is on its way towards the previous lows around 61.85. That's what it looks like. We are in a bearish trend on short term and medium term. On the dollar index, quite interesting move yesterday, bouncing strongly off from the 105.34 support here, very strong support. Dipped a little bit below, but then bounced back higher. If it moves back above and takes us out and our side takes out the falling trend line here, we are likely to see higher levels in the dollar index, or at least testing the 105 peak level here, and we could move to 107.90. That would be possibly a target there. We can add the Fibonacci retracement. It's very close to 138.2 projection there. It actually stopped at 61.8 retracement yesterday. So if it takes out that level there, then we are in for a move towards 108-ish level. Moving on to commodities, and we have here the gold spot that is continuing its bounce, and I believe we will see it move to 61.8 retracement at 1895. Could spike up to just above 1900 maybe, testing this trend line and the 55 moving outwards here, and then I think we will see a setback lower towards the 1870. Silver trying to get back above 22.15 if it succeeds to close above, and I think we'll see that. Next step is 22.60, which is the 61.8 retracement, but there should be room up to just above 23, where we also have the moving averages coming down, and they will kind of put a lid on it there, really to dampen the excitement. Copper still a little bit depressed, back below the 362.70, which seems to be the crucial point there. But really key support is 354.50. And you can see here on the weekly why, I mean, several times it bounced from that. If it takes out, well, then we are looking at the 315, 320 and a change levels down here. And that could be become a bit brutal, especially also if we get the weekly RSI below 40. On the energy, well, quite volatile on the crude oil. As you can see, the WTI only got to the 382 retracement, being sold off again, back below this trend line. So maybe it's not that meaningful anymore. Let's just remove it. So we clean up. Sometimes it's good to clean up a little bit. If it takes out 81.50, well, then the 77.60 support is really key for WTI. Brent, almost similar picture, really. We have the 83.44 minor support, but the strong key support is around 81.75. If it takes out that, well, then that will change the short-term and medium-term picture. But I do believe we will slowly move higher on crude oils towards the resistance here around 81 on the Brent one. And if we just quickly jump back to the WTI, I think we will see slowly crawling higher towards 88.20. That's the key level to look out for. A close above that, then I believe we will see higher levels and also challenging these peaks here. Interesting development on the natural gas. We have Dutch gas testing key strong resistance at 54.45, and let's move to the weekly chart and see why it is so important. You can see this is the crucial one. It is really interesting. Also the weekly RSI at very close to 60. If it breaks above, closes above, then there is really much more in store for Dutch gas. It is in an uptrend currently, both on short and medium term, and I think we will move higher in coming weeks. Henry Hub, stalling a little bit, so not really much to say there, but we are in an uptrend on that one too. Finally, on the US Treasury yields, the 10-year bouncing from the 38.2 retracement, spiking just below the 456, and seems to maybe this was the correction that has been over. So let's see here the next couple of days. If it takes out the low from yesterday, we will see a move down to 436 around that level. But if it can stay up, well, then there is much more upside for the US 10-year towards 5%. All right, that's all for today. I'll talk to you again next week. Have a nice weekend and happy trading.